Hello and welcome to another video. So as per usual, I set out in nice bright sunny conditions, and as I've got to where I want it to be, there's a great big grey cloud overhead. So yeah, today just probably a short one today. I'm out doing a route that I filmed a couple of videos ago. Well, I think probably the last two videos have incorporated part of this route. It's quite muddy at the moment along here, but I was just looking for somewhere quiet where I'm not really likely to bump into anybody else. So I've been feeling a bit flat the last few days. I just wanted to talk a little bit about perfectionism. I've always considered myself to be a perfectionist, and sort of felt that was a good thing, you know, that it meant that I did things well, that I was somebody that stuck at things, that kind of grafted and had a pride in what I was doing and that kind of thing. But more recently, I think, particularly with this time of year, not being able to get out on my bike, I think because I did manage to ride through a lot of last winter, and this winter I've just not been really feeling it so far. The weather's been absolutely miserable, so it's been really windy, it's been wet, it's been really, well, the temperature's kind of fluctuated. It's been like unusually warm, like up to 15 degrees, and then like today it's down to, I think at the minute we're sort of mid-afternoon and it's down to about 7 degrees. So it's been really difficult to kind of get motivated to get out and do things. But I find, I don't know, that kind of cycling, particularly over the last 18 months or so, has really become a big part of my identity. So much so that actually when I had my birthday in December, I had lots of cycling gifts with people wishing me messages on social media, and I had cards that had bikes on and things, so other people associate me with a love of cycling as well. And sort of losing a bit of motivation or inclination, I suppose, to go out in this weather then makes me feel really down, like I'm failing in some way, because I'm, you know, maybe going a week or more without actually going out and bike riding. I've signed up to do 200-mile virtual medal for January, just as a bit of motivation to get out and do it. But so far we're kind of, is it 8th of January today? Maybe 9th, and I still haven't got on my bike yet. So the other issue that I have is if I don't get out and do a bit of exercise in some form of other, sort of just getting outside, I start to feel really down. I start to feel like I've wasted the day. And again, motivation at this time of year is really difficult. I think sometimes you don't want to get up and go out straight away, or you do want to get out and go out early doors, but it's dark, and living in town, or, you know, I've got to sort my dogs out first thing, and then because I go out and do things on my own, wait until it's a sort of safe time of day to be going out on my own. And if you wait till later on, you get to the stage where you're going to be losing daylight by the time you've travelled out, or if you're going to be out for a few hours walking or biking. So you kind of get stuck in that headspace of thinking, oh, I want to go, but, you know, is it worth it? And I'm sure, you know, if I got out and did it, I'd feel better than if I didn't go out and do it. But the other thing at the moment is my wife has got COVID for the second time in about 3 months. And again, like last time, I keep testing positive, so I have felt under the weather. So I don't know whether that's my immune system fighting it off because I've been in contact with it. So I haven't wanted to push myself too hard. I've got some events coming up this year. I've got a rescheduled 10k in May. It was rescheduled from 2022, and I am going to have to put some work in to get around that and sort of not hate it and not find that too difficult. I also mentioned before I want to do the Yorkshire Three Peaks, which I'm aiming to do sometime between April and June. So yeah, I mean, perfectionism, I think, I don't know, I think you can just leave yourself feeling like you're falling short. You know, if you start to lose motivation, or you're not feeling well, or for whatever reason you can't get out and do the thing that you've been doing consistently, that there's this kind of failure in that. So I guess the thing with perfectionism is it can actually be quite toxic, and I've questioned whether perfectionism can actually cause procrastination and therefore inaction. The idea that if you can't do something to your level of perfectionism, you know, if you can't reach get out as often as you want, or create something as kind of artistic as you want, or whatever it might be that you're doing, there, you know, that you might therefore just think, well, what's the point in trying? I can't do it. And you know, this is something that really kind of holds me back in a lot of things. That I'm somebody who is very creative and artistic. I've discovered a few years ago that I can draw pretty well, but it only takes doing one piece that doesn't come out quite well and I think, fuck it, I'm useless at this, can't do it, makes me feel inadequate, put it away, don't touch it again. Similarly, I am a musician and I've suffered with crippling, excruciating stage fright, and come off afterwards feeling really, really deflated, even though the audience has enjoyed it and people have come up to me afterwards and said that they've enjoyed it. If I feel that my performance has been subpar, then I just think, well, they're coming and saying it for the sake of it. I know it wasn't any good. So, you know, and again with cycling, that idea that if I can't get out 4 or 5 times a week and I'm not banging out at least 20-25 miles a time, that I'm not doing it well enough. And there's this kind of fight in me that I should be all or nothing. You know, if I'm cycling, I need to be out doing that all the time and there's no space for anything else. You know, and I think, I don't know, it gives me this real conflict. I struggle to kind of know who I am, how to sort of define myself, and I've kind of come to accept more recently that I am somebody who just kind of flits from thing to thing, and that I know I will come back round, and that it's fine for my interests and my motivation and my muse, if you like, to be in different places at different times. And maybe that fluctuates at different times of year, and that, you know, the weather's crap, I've been feeling down, you know, if I don't feel like cycling but I do feel like getting out and walking, then, you know, is there a massive problem with that? No, is the answer. There isn't a massive problem with that. So yeah, it's not straightforward, and I wonder why we put up this pressure on ourselves, and I wonder if a lot of it is sort of social media based. You know, I think a lot of us feel that there are certain things that we can't post on Strava. You know, if you've done a run and your pace is poor, you don't want to put it on. You know, if you've been out for a bike ride and you're comparing your pace to other people's, you know, there's this sense again of you not being as good or good enough, if you're not maintaining or keeping up with other people. Yeah, it might be time for another social media break, really, I think, to try and get a little bit of perspective. So it's probably a good place to end it today, to be honest. I haven't got loads to say, there's not loads to shoot because I've done this route a few times and the lighting's not great today. So yeah, I think just a bit of a waffle and a ramble really about, I don't know, I think a lot of us are probably in a similar place at this time of year, at the moment, because of the pandemic and the restrictions and you know, getting unwell, but also with it being winter, with it being wet and icy and cold and dark, and the, you know, days being short, you know, particularly if you work full time, you know, through daylight hours, then it can be difficult to kind of get any outdoor activity in. So yeah, probably been a bit of a buzzkill today, but yeah, that's just where it is at the minute. So hopefully bring you something a little bit more uplifting next time. Cheers.